Attention, stations on the network. Our broadcast will begin in 10 minutes from my mark. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. That was your 10-minute time check, stations. Attention, stations on the network. Our broadcast will begin in 5 minutes from my mark. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. That was your 5-minute time check, stations. Attention, stations on the network. Our broadcast will begin in 2 minutes from my mark. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. That was your 2-minute time check, stations. Attention, stations on the network. Our broadcast will begin in 1 minute from my mark. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. That was your 1-minute time check, stations.
On the Hawkeyes Sports Network from Learfield, this is Hawk Talk, presented by View Rooftop Downtown Iowa City. Also brought to you by Bud Light, it's for the fans. Iowa's corn farmers of the Iowa Corn Growers Association and the Iowa Corn Promotion Board. When corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Brought to you by Ford, inviting you to visit your local Ford store or buyfordnow.com. U.S. Bank, proud to support Iowa football. U.S. Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC. Authentic Brand, unique Hawkeye apparel at authentic-brand.com. And by Iowa Office of Secretary of State. Visit voterready.iowa.gov. Get in the game, be a voter. Now, here is your host, the voice of the Hawkeyes, Gary Dolphin.
The last day of summer is here. Tomorrow is the first day of fall, and as Ed Podolak likes to say, that means it's time for Big Ten football. And on the drive in today, that sky has that gray, overcast November look to it. And with that, the competition ratchets up big time, and the Hawkeyes get after it on Saturday night. Oh, great, another night game. Saturday night, 6 o'clock scheduled kickoff from Piscataway, New Jersey, as the Hawkeyes and Rutgers kick off the Big Ten 2022 campaign. Good evening, everybody. I'm Gary Dolphin. We're at View Rooftop in downtown Iowa City, where we have a really good view of the surrounding landscape, including the sky, and that is a Big Ten football. Just screams Big Ten football tonight and going forward for the next 8, 9, 10 weeks. So glad you could join us this evening. We're back at the roof, at the rooftop bar restaurant here at the View in downtown Iowa City, on top of the Hilton Garden Inn, just off Clinton Street, right on Clinton Street, actually. Burlington is half a block one way, and Court Street is the other. So if that'll help you find your bearings, please stop on out tonight. Any Wednesday night from 6:30 until 8. Coach Ferentz will be here about 7 o'clock, a little after 7 o'clock. You can text us or Facebook us your questions or comments for Coach Ferentz on Twitter as well. You can catch me on Twitter at Gary Dolphin. We will pick up the questions and comments there, and we've got probably 10 or 12 already lined up. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/Voice of the Hawks. And on YouTube in the chat room of our live video feed, or the official Iowa Hawkeyes YouTube page. And as usual, we appreciate KCRG 9.2 is here with us, televising the festivities live. They're here each and every week. Erin Rooney and her wonderful staff on KCRG channel 9.2. So with that as a backdrop, welcome in. The Hawks are 2-1, and they head to Rutgers for the Big Ten opener. Just the third time these two teams have ever played in football. The Hawks have won the first two, including a few years back when it was a struggle, but Iowa escaped their first ever visit to what is now known as SHI Stadium. And won 14-7. It was a grinding day, some critical turnovers that day, but the Hawks prevailed and pulled it out 14-7. Roughly 4 or 5 years ago. That's the first time that the Hawks have played Rutgers in a while. Rutgers came to Iowa City the next year, and the Hawks won that one going away 30-0. Iowa comes off a 27-0 marathon last Saturday night against Nevada, a victory at Kinnick Stadium, a game plagued by 3 lightning delays, totaling 4 hours. The lightning delays lasted longer than the ball game. It was Iowa's first shutout since 2019. The Hawkeye defense has allowed just 13 points in their 3 non-conference games. That's the second fewest for the first 3 games in the Associated Press poll area. That dates all the way back to 1936. So those of you watching on Channel 9.2, you're seeing some of the emptiness of the stadium there after 1 or 2 delays. The rule states that if there's a lightning detection within 8 miles of the stadium, this is an NCAA rule. This isn't a University of Iowa rule, by the way. But if they detect lightning within 8 miles of the stadium, the teams have to hit the locker room. The fans have to leave the stadium or the stadium proper and hang out in the concourse area out of danger for 30 minutes. They start a 30-minute clock, and if there's no detection of lightning in that 30-minute window, then they put 12 on the scoreboard for the players to come back out of the locker room and warm up. And then we go. And that happened the first time, and then we got another lightning delay. They came out. We ran one play. They ran one play for a grand total of 8 seconds. And then the third delay was enforced. And so while it was a long night, it was a victory. Nevada had to travel back immediately. Nevada plays at Air Force Friday night. So talk about a short week. I mean, it's short enough for the Hawkeyes, but we wish Nevada all the best going forward. Iowa has allowed just 160 yards or less of offense against 2 of its first 3 opponents. And that is really something. That is outstanding defense. Linebacker Jack Campbell has a team-high 31 tackles. Safety Cooper DeJean has a pair of interceptions. He's tied for the team lead, likewise with 4 pass breakups. Iowa has 6 players with at least 1 sack to date, and its team total of 9 is 3rd in the Big Ten. Of course, Torrey Taylor continues to knock it out of the ball yard. He leads the league and is 3rd nationally, punting the football 48.3 yards per average. And 11 of Torrey Taylor's 23 punts have been down inside the 20. Iowa's punt coverage team has been absolutely spectacular. What about Rutgers? They're 3-0. They beat Boston College 22-21. They hung 66 points on Wagner College. And then edged Temple in Philadelphia on Saturday 16-14 on the benefit of 3 field goals and a pick 6. Very eerily similar to Iowa's 7-3 win over South Dakota State on opening weekend. Both these teams are ranked top 10 in the country in defense. So Rutgers and Iowa, something's got to give there with those 2 defenses on Saturday, and the Iowa defense will show up, I can promise you that. And special teams, Rutgers is very good on special teams, particularly in punt block. Greg Schiano, who's been successful seemingly everywhere he's been, coached at Rutgers from 01 to 11. Rutgers was in the, I believe it was the Atlantic 10 conference, and I'll double check on that. And then, of course, was invited to join the Big Ten, and gleefully did so a few years back. With Maryland, came in and joined the league with Maryland in around 2014, 2015, and since then has steadily built the program back to respectability. I speak of Greg Schiano. He replaced Chris Ash. Chris Ash, Iowa native, got the job, was there for 2 years. Ash replaced him in 2019. Greg Schiano, who was on Urban Meyer's staff at Ohio State, is a huge special teams guy, as is Kirk Ferentz. Greg Schiano was a head coach in the NFL at Miami for a brief period. Kirk Ferentz spent 7 or 8 years in the NFL. If you learn one thing in the NFL, it's that special teams can absolutely flat out win you 3 or 4 games a year just on how you play in special teams. And so they both emphasize that. And LeVar Woods is as good as it gets in terms of special teams coaches in the Big Ten or anywhere around the country. For that matter, I've said often LeVar Woods is a head coach in waiting, but he's a spectacular special teams coach. So we'll start with the defense and with special teams when Coach gets here. But a very successful night for the offense. And quarterback Spencer Petras, who completed 14 of 26 passes for 175 yards and a touchdown throw to Arlen Bruce. And, Spencer didn't get better overnight. He's been a good, solid quarterback throughout his career at Iowa. But he got a lot of help back. A lot of the cavalry re-arrived at Kinnick Stadium on Saturday night. Most notably, 3 receivers. Nico Reganey, who had 4 catches. Brody Breck got his feet wet, literally. Keegan Johnson returned but played sparingly. All 3 of those guys. Well, 2 are starters, and Brody Breck is going to be more of a featured wide receiver at 6'4" going forward. Brody Breck, who can touch 96 on the jugs gun in baseball, is just starting to figure out the playbook and football. So it's going to take some time for Brody because he spent so much time with Coach Heller and the baseball program, and good for him. But he's a two-sport can be a two-sport star. So he saw his first significant action, as did this pure freshman running back, Caleb Johnson. what a coming out party. What a baptism for him. He rushed for 103 yards, with 95 of those coming on 2 long touchdown runs, one of 40 and the other of 55. The Hamilton, Ohio native was subbing in for starter Gavin Williams, who did get a few snaps, and for the absent LaShawn Williams, who was attending his father's funeral. And I want to stop right there. And, of course, all Hawk fans wish LaShawn and his family our deepest sympathies and best wishes on the loss of his dad this past week. Keegan Johnson re-injured a leg that has been bothering him seemingly the entire year, the off-season, and certainly all fall camp. And so Keegan Johnson is back on the sidelines. He's not going to be playing Saturday at Rutgers. The Hawkeyes have won 7 of their last 10 conference openers and will look to start fast again on Saturday. That is a 6 o'clock kick here on the Hawkeye Radio Network. That means our pregame coverage starts at 4 o'clock. But that's then. This is now. Reach out to us on Twitter at Gary Dolphin for Coach Ferentz, or on Facebook at facebook.com/Voice of the Hawkeyes. Quarterback Spencer Petras, he's ready to move on to the Big Ten season.
We have 14 goals, and the last one is to win the Big Ten West and win the Big Ten. And you can't win the Big Ten West without winning Big Ten games. Every game's critical, every game's important, but our end goal of every season is to win the Big Ten, and this is when we really start playing for that. This is when it really counts. For that goal specifically.
Spencer had some very positive remarks about the offensive players returning after injury, the ones who missed significant time that I just mentioned.
Always good getting guys back and getting those guys out there. I think it certainly helps just us be more fresh at receiver. It's awesome to see what Alec and Arland and Jack did, but when you got 3 guys playing, it's tough, man. It's a lot of running and a lot of I get tired just handing the ball off sometimes, so I can't imagine those guys. So yeah, good to get everyone back.
And Spencer Petras will look to an improved and healthier offensive line, too, on Saturday. I thought that was very noticeable Saturday night against Nevada. The offensive line not only healthier, but, after 2 games, those young guys are picking up the playbook. And we'll talk about that with Coach when he gets here, too. He of the offensive line mentality. In the meantime, we're enjoying the start of the program here at View Rooftop in downtown Iowa City in the Hilton Garden Inn. The phone number for reservations tonight or on game day. Why not come on out Saturday night, watch the game, and tune in the Hawkeye Radio Network here at View Rooftop. Call for reservations at 319-519-4650, 319-519-4650. Of course, you can join us here every Wednesday night for Hawk Talk and stop by on football Saturdays when the Hawks are up the road at Kinnick Stadium. View Rooftop is a new experience unique to Iowa City. Immerse yourself in an invigorating environment with comfortable contemporary indoor and outdoor seating. High-definition televisions for watching the game, tailgate specials, and live music. Enjoy the camaraderie and celebrate with a toast at View Rooftop at the Hilton Garden Inn in Iowa City. Hawkeye Football and Hawk Talk is sponsored by U.S. Cellular, America's locally grown wireless and official wireless partner of the Iowa Hawkeyes. Join the national network built by locals for locals. And by Iowa Corn. When corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Take a closer look and you'll discover the many connections you have to corn. And those connections translate into victories for farmers and wins for all Iowans. Share your winning moments using #IowansWin. We'll step out, take our first break, hear from our wonderful sponsors, and then come back with more Hawk Talk from View Rooftop from Learfield.
Knowing that I can make a difference in my patients' lives keeps me motivated every single day. Hi, I'm Dr. Kanya Ferguson at University of Iowa Healthcare. With academic medicine, we see the toughest cases, so we're always innovating. And we bring the best minds together to collaborate, so there's more brain power focused on you. Because that leads to exceptional care for our patients and our community. See how at uihc.org.
Hi, welcome to US Cellular, where new and current customers choose any phone they want for free.
Free? Even the one with 5G and lots of storage?
Free.
What about the one that takes incredible pictures?
Free.
And the one with the latest everything?
Free.
How about this giant cardboard phone?
Oh, that stays.
At US Cellular, new and current customers choose any phone they want for free. That's any brand, model, or size. Free for everyone. US Cellular, America's locally grown wireless. Terms apply. See uscellular.com for details.
When you open a crisp, cold Bud Light, you know game day is here.
You owe me $5.
We mean every sound. Enjoy responsibly. 2022 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Introducing new Bud Light Seltzer Hard Soda Variety Pack. You hear that? It's seltzer with the pop of soda, all with zero sugar. Bud Light Seltzer Hard Soda, the loudest flavors ever. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Seltzer Hard Soda, IRC Beers, St. Louis, Missouri.
How do you become America's best-selling brand? Let's break it down. Innovative tech means smarter and safer driving. Intelligent all-wheel drive will keep you ready for anything. And built Ford tough trucks will always get the job done. Plus, come into your local Ford store today and get super low APR financing, big cash back, and great lease offers on Ford's full line of cars, trucks, and SUVs. That's Ford, and that's how you become America's best-selling brand. Sales claim based on calendar year sales.
When you set up a savings goal with U.S. Bank, it grows with you. There's no limit to what you can crochet. Can do. Doesn't have to be crocheting, but it totally could be. Like the headphones you're listening to this ad with, you could totally crochet those. There's no telling where your savings goal will take you. Maybe you'll save enough for yarn to crochet your house or the whole town. Oh, right. Doesn't have to be crochet related.
Set up savings goals on the U.S. Bank mobile app, even for the wildest of dreams. U.S. Bank. We'll get there together. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
The Roots and Boots Tour, starring Aaron Tippin, Colin Ray, and Sammy Kershaw, comes to Riverside Casino and Golf Resort on November 11th at 8 p.m. Come experience these three voices that defined 90s country music in a one-of-a-kind concert. Hear hits such as Tippin's You've Got to Stand for Something, Ray's In This Life, and Kershaw's She Don't Know She's Beautiful. Tickets are on sale now at riversidecasinoandresort.com.
Hawk Talk with Coach Kirk Ferentz, live from View Rooftop in downtown Iowa City at the Hilton Garden Inn. Thanks so much for tuning in on the Hawkeye Radio Network this evening. And if you're headed here to the View, we got room for you. Got an outstanding bar with a number of flat screens. And I'm guessing if the Yankees and Pittsburgh are on tonight, that audience would be commanding to watch Aaron Judge. Can Aaron Judge tie Babe Ruth tonight or this week? What a monster year he is having, and not only from a home run perspective, but I was reading today where he now is leading in all three categories for the Triple Crown: batting average, RBIs, and home runs. He's going to win home runs and RBIs, obviously, but it's quite a battle for the batting champion, batting average. And so what a story, Aaron Judge. We lost Maury Wills yesterday, the great base stealer of the Los Angeles Dodgers. When I was growing up, the Dodgers with Maury Wills and Sandy Koufax and Don Drysdale, and I'm talking about the early to mid-'60s. But I also got to see Roger Maris play at Comiskey Park in Chicago several times over the years when the White Sox would host the Yankees, and Mantle and Maris would come to town. Roger Maris, what a great player. Smooth swing from the left side. He was a Gold Glove all-star outfielder for a number of years. So if Aaron Judge, he tied the Babe last night. He hit number 60 last night. But should he catch Roger Maris and therefore pass Roger Maris eventually, that would be quite a feat. Maris, I can remember Roger Maris getting death threats from people on the East Coast who absolutely revered Babe Ruth. And as if to say, what are you doing, thinking you can hit more home runs than Babe Ruth? It's just amazing. We know times have changed drastically with the social media world that we live in, and 500 channels on your television. It's a different world media-wise, but to think that Roger Maris would get death threats because he was hitting too many home runs and he was going to catch the babe. That was the magnetism, though, that the Bambino had. Anyway, good luck to Aaron Judge. It would be great to see him not only tie but break that record. We're talking football, Hawkeye football on Rutgers at 6 o'clock Saturday night from Piscataway. And the Hawks, maybe the most amazing or the most impressive thing to me on Saturday night in the win over Nevada, other than the weather, of course, was the way the Hawks got back to their rushing attack. They ran 35 times for 162 yards, and that, whatever that equates to, I'm looking for the per yard average, was 4.6, I believe, if I did the math correctly. But that just fed right into the passing game. And we had been talking for a few weeks now about those receivers getting healthy. And Nico Reganey, who is from the New England area, by the way, just a solid slot possession receiver, had 4 catches for the Hawkeyes. Reganey, 4 catches, 56 yards with a long of 46. He's what I like to call a chain mover. And he said it was great to get back, get back on the field. And he's all too familiar with the environment at Rutgers. It's going to be a sold-out house on Saturday night. And Reganey is spending this week, or a good portion this week, preparing the younger guys for a road environment like what they'll see at Piscataway.
I mean, it's definitely different going into some of these stadiums. They got some crazy fans and like hundreds of thousands of people there, or 100,000 people there. But just like focusing on each day, you know, there are a lot of young guys in the group, and maybe a couple weeks ago they weren't expected to play, but now they're expected to play with some of the injuries that are happening. So just trying to show them that I have the utmost confidence in them, and try and get them to have the most confidence in themselves. And I think they're doing a great job with everything.
Good to have Nico back in the lineup with Arlen Bruce, and you'll see Brody Breck back out there. What a performance by the freshman running back, Caleb Johnson. He only carried 7 times. He averaged 14 yards a carry, almost 15 yards a carry, and those 2 long touchdowns of 40 and 55 yards, which really broke the back of the Nevada defense. It'll be a different story on Saturday night. Now, Rutgers' defense is as good as advertised. They've got a tremendous defensive tackle he had 11 tackles last week against Temple. His name is Aaron Lewis, and he's not that big. He's a 255-pound lineman. They'll move him around inside and out, much the way the Hawkeyes move Lucas Van Ness around. And they have other good players in that line. Really good linebackers. Deion Jennings, I remember him from 4 or 5 years ago. He's been around a long time. From Sicklerville, New Jersey, the Hawkeyes have gotten several really good players out of Sicklerville. I think Sean Green is from Sicklerville, if I'm not mistaken. Timber Creek High School. Jennings is 6'1", 230 pounds. He's got 18 tackles in 3 games. Tyreen Powell is a young sophomore. He's valid. In the back end, maybe is where they are strongest, though. They've got a lot of seniors back there, led by Avery Young and Christian Isian, who is a little guy, built solid, 5'10", about 200 pounds. He's got 18 tackles. He's got a sack. He's got a couple tackles for loss. So they'll certainly throw some blitzes at Petrus and the Hawkeyes. So that young offensive line for Iowa will be put to the test once again. But after all, it is the Big Ten. And I thought Bo Stevens played really well the other night. He's that young redshirt freshman from Blue Springs, Missouri, at right guard. He had a couple great trap blocks that I saw. Mason Richmond is getting healthier and therefore better at left tackle. Nick DeYoung, the young man from down the road at Pella, a junior, was solid. Connor Colby's been terrific. They moved him from right guard to right tackle. And, of course, Logan Jones gets better by the snap, the first-year sophomore who came over from the defensive side and is now playing center. A lot of pressure will be on that offensive line the other night, or Saturday night, as it was the other night. But George Barnett's done a great job, the offensive line coach, with keeping this young unit together. But you'll see Tyler Ellsbury, Jennings Dunker has been getting some minutes. The offensive line continues to grow and to grow up. Hawk fans, when the Hawks win, you win. 2 days after a Hawkeye football victory, buy one delicious pothole frozen pizza with quick rewards and get a second one free at any Quick Star location. Pothole Pizza at Quick Star, proud partner of Iowa Hawkeye football. We heard from Spencer Petras a bit ago. You know, the Rutgers quarterback situation is it's a mess right now. A traffic jam. They're two regulars. They're the guys that have played the most, not only in 3 games this year, but in the past, are injured. And Coach Schiano said that will be a game-time decision as to whether starter Noah Vedral, who's a senior from Wahoo, Nebraska. Hello and Wahoo. Vedral started out at Nebraska. He played in 6 games at Nebraska, started a couple before transferring to Rutgers. So we'll keep our eyes peeled for Noah's appearance if he plays on Saturday night. His backup, sophomore Gavin Wimsett, who's from Owensboro, Kentucky, he too got banged up in the early portion of this season. So it's a game day decision for both those guys. If either or neither can go, then they'll turn to a sophomore, 6'3", Evan Simon, 6'3", just 205 pounds, from Mount Joy, Pennsylvania. He's the healthiest of the 3, so don't think that will get lost on the Iowa defense come Saturday night. They've got a solid core of running backs, most notably Al-Shadi Salam. He's averaging 6.5 yards a carry, has 137 yards total. He also has 3 pass catches, so he's the real deal. And Kyle Mangagai, who's averaging almost 4 yards a carry, a couple touchdowns. They play 4 guys. Those are the 2 most prominent. Their best wide receiver, they actually have a couple. Shameen Jones, a senior, and Joshua Youngblood, a junior. They got their tight ends are small, but they're active. Johnny Langan and Matt Alimo. So they have good, solid offensive players. Offensive line, I think the Hawks can do some damage on the Rutgers offensive line. You know, what's interesting about another interesting matchup is we have 2 punters from Melbourne, Australia, Torrey Taylor, and they have an outstanding punter as well from Australia, and Adam Korsak. He has been around for a few years. He's a senior, and he has been one of the nation's top punters for distance and accuracy ever since he stepped on campus. I mentioned this a few weeks ago, but if you hadn't heard, there's like 50 or 60 Division I punters from Australia in college football. There are only 132 Division I schools, so roughly half of the punters. Not all of them start, but roughly half the punters at the programs around the country are from Australia. Just a unique tidbit there. Tonight's Hawk Talk is sponsored by Bud Light. Hawk Talk with Kirk Ferentz, courtesy of Bud Light and Anheuser-Busch. Bud Light welcomes Hawkeye fans to Kinnick Stadium this year. Bud Light is for the fans. Let's pause right now 10 seconds for station identification, station ID time on the Hawkeye Radio Network from View Rooftop. You're listening to Hawk Talk with Kirk Ferentz. Coach will be with us shortly, a little after 7 o'clock. We'll step out, take a break, and get ready for Coach Ferentz. You get ready, too, on Twitter at Gary Dolphin or on Facebook at facebook.com/Voice of the Hawks. This is Hawk Talk with Coach Ferentz from Learfield.
Fans, this is Bruce Gerlman, and I own Splash Seafood Bar and Grill. Have you been to Splash lately? Come back downtown and let me spoil you. White linens, fresh flowers, candlelight, award-winning wine lists, professional staff, and best of all, my fresh fish are jetted in from Hawaii every morning. Enjoy my homemade lobsters, Alaskan king crab, fresh oysters from the cold, clear, clean waters of the Pacific Northwest. My favorite is the surf and turf featuring my hand-cut prime steaks and lobster. Splash, a truly special evening of adult indulgence.
Contractors, you're busier than ever this fall, but you've got this with high-quality building materials from Spahn & Rose like GAF. Use the Spon and Rose Visualizer to plan the perfect roof and blend an elegant architectural look with exceptional performance. GAF, we protect what matters the most. With several Spon and Rose locations nearby, you can focus on life's other important things this fall. Spon and Rose, buy easier, build better.
You did it, Iowa! You've won more than $20 million in jackpots this year from Wild Rose Casino and Hotel. And we're not stopping anytime soon. Winning is more fun at Wild Rose. From jackpots to cars to cash and more. We've got 20 million reasons and more why you'd rather be here. Wild Rose Casino and Hotel.
Must be 21 or older. If you or someone you know needs gambling treatment, call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
When you open a crisp, cold Bud Light, you know game day is here.
You owe me $5.
You mean every sound. Enjoy responsibly. 2022 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Introducing new Bud Light Seltzer Hard Soda Variety Pack. You hear that? It's seltzer with the pop of soda, all with zero sugar. Bud Light Seltzer Hard Soda, the loudest flavors ever. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Seltzer Hard Soda, IRC Beers, St. Louis, Missouri.
At Golden Harvest, our best skill is knowing how to listen. From our Gold Series soybean and game-changing corn portfolios to our expert insights housed in the Illuminate digital agronomy platform, everything we offer is an answer to what we've heard from you. This is how we listen.
Copyright 2021 Syngenta. The trademarks or service marks used herein are the property of the Syngenta Group Company. All other trademarks are the property of their respective owners.
After a cancer diagnosis, it's natural to want to start treatment right away. But first, get a second opinion from a team that specializes in your cancer. I'm Dr. George Weiner, Director of University of Iowa Holden Comprehensive Cancer Center. Before you start treatment, you deserve to be confident you have the right diagnosis and know every option available to you. So whether it's with us or somewhere else, get a second opinion. It can change your care and your life.
Hawkeye football from Rutgers Saturday night, Iowa and the Scarlet Knights of head coach Greg Schiano. He and Coach Ferentz, two veteran coaches who do it the right way, and Greg Schiano coached at Rutgers when they were in the Big East and the American Athletic Conference, which covered 1991 to 2012. They joined the Big Ten in 2014, did the Knights with the University of Maryland. So it's a program that is being built the right way under Coach Schiano. He mentioned that in his press conference yesterday, and we know that Iowa has been built the right way with Coach Ferentz and his staff. So they'll collide Saturday night. That kickoff now I see is scheduled for 10 after 6, so they've got a 10-minute slide there because of television coverage. We'll be on the air, though, at 4 o'clock Saturday afternoon with our information-packed pregame show along the Hawkeye Radio Network, 55 stations strong. I want to thank our friends at Authentic Brand for sponsoring our program each and every week, and Hawkeye football in general. You can be a winner of some fine Authentic Brand apparel. I've got their tee on tonight. They're very attractive Authentic Brand tee, outlined in gold, black shirt with the Tiger Hawk logo. Authentic Brand, all you need to do is submit an interesting question, a tweet or a Facebook post that we pick each week during the Coach Ferentz show, and you could win a $100 gift certificate for Hawkeye gear from Authentic Brand. We've had 3 winners so far this season. We'll pick someone tonight off the Twitter feed or the Facebook post. Tonight's winning question will be announced as we get close to the end of the show. So Twitter, get on Twitter right now at Gary Dolphin or on Facebook.com/Voice of the Hawkeyes. And as soon as Coach sits down, we'll go right to Facebook and to Twitter. Quinn Schulte out of Cedar Rapids Xavier, what a year he's having. He and Cooper DeJean are tied for the team lead with 4 pass breakups. Schulte comes from a great program up there at Xavier. He's got a nose for the football. He was talking about the Rutgers offense versus the Iowa defense.
They run hard. Their running backs run hard. That's the big thing. And then the quarterbacks obviously put them up in good positions, and Their wide receivers outside are also very talented too, so we got to be ready for everything. Anytime you're playing a Big Ten opponent, you know it's going to be a tough going, so we just have to be mentally prepared. We're trying to prepare the same as we do every week, and just got to be ready to go.
Quinn Schulte, and now Kirk Ferentz has sat down. How about a hand for Coach? Congratulations on a big win the other night against the Wolfpack. Nothing like, I felt like I was Harry Carey at time filling in, a number of rain delays. But let me tell you, the 7.5-hour wait was worth it. And I slept in the next day. I know you were back at the office about, 10?
Yes, a little bit before that. Yeah, so.
Well, I know you recover. How's the team recovering physically?
I think everybody's fine. We just try to be mindful, or ask them to be mindful of what they're doing, and cognizant all week long, every week. But certainly that was an unusual circumstance. If there's any good news, we knew where our guys were at 1 in the morning on Sunday, so that's good. And didn't have to worry about what they were doing because they were right in front of us. I don't know if that's good or bad, but there's a positive in everything, right?
Well, let's tip the cap with a feather in it for Raymond Braithwaite and his strength and conditioning staff. They do a great job keeping these guys in tip-top shape, and to come in and out of the locker room not once, not twice, but 3 times after lightning delays, and keep them loose and keep them prepped to play a collision game like football. Accolades, we don't have enough accolades passed along their way, but I know how important strength and conditioning is to the Iowa program.
It is 12 months of the year. It's just a year-round thing now, and that hasn't changed. I don't think, since the 70s and probably well before that. Teams that aren't in condition, it's just not there's no excuse for it, and it's a real disadvantage. So it is something we believe in. Ray's done a great job. His staff does a great job. And then to your point, the other night was just such an unusual circumstance. There's really no way to practice that or prepare for that. So you just kind of go by feel a little bit. But that's just really weird. And I think part of obviously the time delay is a factor, but the hardest part is just not knowing what time we're going to start again. It's a little bit easier when you have a target time. And you're going to be on the field, let's say at 12:30 or something like that. But there was once or twice where we thought we knew, and then sure enough they set it back 30 more minutes. And so those peaks and valleys emotionally, not only physically but also emotionally for the players. I'm not sure I know the right answer, but it's just weird to be in a football locker room, see guys laying on the floor or playing cards. I know that maybe happens in baseball locker rooms, at least Major League. They got 160 games. He's 62, I guess. So, a little different mentality, but in football, that's kind of unsettling, but at the same time, it's probably the right thing to do. So we want our guys to just relax a little bit, and when we give them information, we could give them information.
So that's how they were staying mentally sharp, playing cards and laying on the floor. We've had a number of Facebook posts and Twitter feeds tonight saying, not 1, not 2, but 3 delay. How do you keep the guys mentally focused? I'm guessing it's not easy.
It isn't. I got 2 answers, but 2 things to say. I was impressed. I saw at least 5, 6 decks of cards, so I'm guessing the guys play cards Friday night in their rooms, and that's fine. Yeah. They're together and they're having fun. Didn't see any money out, so that's good. That would not be good. Fight in the locker room over a $5 hand of poker or something like that. But anyway, no issues there. And then, again, I don't know if there is a right way, but I think the credit from my standpoint goes to our older guys. When we did have a sense, hey, we're going to be heading out in 8 minutes, gave the guys a chance to get their pads back on, and they quickly got their focus back, and that's easier said than done sometimes. So that's something we told them. It's just going to be a challenge of who can stay focused the best and finish this thing out, however long it takes, and how many stops. Nobody can predict all that.
No matter how long it takes. If I've had one question, I've had 50 in the last 4 days about 3 delays. What are the officials talking about at that point? And by officials, they meant athletic directors, Big Ten Conference, Mountain West Conference. Are the head coaches visiting with perhaps calling it? I don't think the game was ever in doubt that Iowa was not going to win the football game, but of course Nevada wants to compete. What is the process?
Yeah, I think Gary and their athletic director spoke I don't know how many times during. I think they conferred a little bit. I think the possibility of moving indoors came up. The only problem there is you'd have to sign a peace treaty on the punting because, the punters would hit the ceiling. That's an issue. So, that's easier said than done, too. But I'm not sure. I really wasn't too worried about it. I just figured we're going to play the game. That was my mindset. And let's just try to do what we can to get to that point and then hopefully finish it out. I'm sure they didn't want to go home. They wanted to finish the game also and, not surrender. And then, probably the single worst thing is, they turn around and play Friday night, I believe, at Air Force.
They do.
Not even a home game, so they got to travel again. And they were here last Thursday, so their head coach seemed like a great guy. I don't pretend to know him, but seemed like a great guy. I'm talking to him before the game, and you might as well get all that crap out your first year, get it out of your system because what a road he's had, with crazy circumstances. So, you might as well take it all at once.
What pleased you most before we move on to Rutgers, getting the injured guys back? And I'm being a little facetious with this because I know you're pleased in all areas. Another great performance by the defense and special teams, but it was great to get Gavin Williams and Nico Reganey and others out there. Brody Breck got a pass or two thrown his way, and Caleb Johnson busts on the scene.
Yeah, so, just getting some veteran players back, and I say veteran, either veteran players or prospects. In Brody's case, he's a prospect. He's been on the field maybe 7 weeks now, maybe less than that in his entire career. He's been here a year, going on a year and a half. So just to get him up and running is good. And this is his fourth week of practice. I think I'm correct in saying that, fourth week of practice. So I thought he did a lot of good things out there. You can see why we've always been excited about him. He's a great young guy. But he's a guy that needs to practice like every player on the team. And whether it's a fifth-year guy or a first-year guy, everybody needs to practice. So getting him out there and getting him started was really good. And I hope that was good for his confidence. It should be. He clearly belongs out there. And some of the plays that he couldn't finish the other day, I think, it's just a matter of time before he starts to finish it. So that'll help us. Getting Nico back, a veteran, is really certainly a positive for us, and hopefully Keegan can start pushing forward. It'd be helpful also because he's played really well. But I think just in general, that conversation is just the lack of experienced players or prospects out there at that position. We've had four guys kind of sitting on the sidelines, and that to think that wouldn't impact the team is really being naive. But some people that are having a hard time with that equation, and I think it just helped a lot of other folks on the team too. To your point about Gavin, it was great getting him back. I really look forward to the day having Gavin and LeSean together. We haven't seen that yet in 3 weeks, but that'll help our football team as well. And the other ingredient in my mind is the up guys up front, just them still playing in more sync. We improved Saturday, week 3. And I think the story there is just the missed practice time that those guys have. And, I don't share that information. Why would you, share it with your opponents during, the August month or even early September. But that's been a factor. So I thought we saw improvement. I think there's plenty of improvement to still be made. And I think we got a good group of guys up there. And so hopefully, not so much after the delay, but the first half we had a little rhythm going offensively, did some good things. And that's what we're trying to build on right now. But you got to have players on the field, and they've got to be able to practice and then go out and play.
Coach, a couple questions here before we take a break. Somewhat to your point, Doug wants to know on Facebook, how do you keep your players focused on the positives amidst the negativity? That's a little bit out.
Has there been negativity?
Yeah.
Is that?
Well, apparently.
Okay. Anyway, no. So, I got plenty of practice of that 23 years ago. Compliment them. In 1999, there were times I complimented them just how they tied their shoes. Like, at least we got that down. That's a start. And I actually read a book probably 30 years ago, Jimmy Johnson's book. He really talked to his team his first year in Dallas because there wasn't a lot of great things to say. But yeah, you always try to find positives, and there are always positives as long as guys are working. And I'll go back to '99 on that topic because that was not a fun year. We were 1-10. But the thing I saw with the guys, they had great attitudes. It took a while, but we got them going a little bit, and there was improvement. And we went up to Wisconsin the next to last week of the season. played a really good championship team. They clinched it that day, and it was not a good matchup by any stretch.
Ron Dane, as I remember, was
it was Ron Dane day / night, and then but we came back that next week and played our best game of the year against Minnesota, a ranked Minnesota team, and we couldn't get it in the fourth quarter, but we had an opportunity to win the game. So, as long as guys are working hard and trying to improve, then it's easy to find things to compliment them on. And to that point, the questioner's point, I think it's really important. Players need to hear good things, but they've got to earn that too, and that's through hard work. It's not always the results, tangible results. It's what they're doing, the way they're going about it. To me, it's always been more important. And luckily we've been a little bit more successful than that year every year since. But the measurement still is how they're performing. It's not the score. It's not the yards. Turnovers maybe, but you know what I'm saying. It's not just all the numbers. And I know that everybody else, you get evaluated by that, but that's not the whole story.
Ken, what are the keys to developing a solid ball control running game?
Well, it takes good backs. That's the first thing I would throw out there. I've seen a lot of film, and it's amazing what a really good back can do. For a team, I'm thinking of just sitting here right now, thinking of 1984, we graduated all our guys from 83, 7 out of our top 10, including all 5 starters. So we were kind of starting from scratch. And I remember Ronnie Harmon making us look good, so
Ronnie Harmon,
big difference. We were tolerable with him in the backfield. But it really kind of gets down to it. There's a lot of precision, a lot of camaraderie, teamwork, and I would always, in my mind, I'm a line coach by trade. I always looked at that. There's 5 guys in the line. It's kind of like a good functioning basketball team, a really precise, precision basketball team. So those 5 guys got to understand each other's moves, and it's not all verbal. It's a lot of it's feel and just instinct or practice, repetition, and but they work with other people too. So if your tight ends are doing a good job, that helps. You might have a blocking back. Certainly receivers blocking can make a 12-yard gain, a 25-yard gain, those kinds of things. So there's a lot involved, and then the ability to throw always helps you in the run game, unless you're an option team, and we're not built that way. So that part's a real key component as well.
Tony must be charting plays. Tony on Facebook, after Iowa completes a short outlet pass for 5 or 6 yards, why is the next play always a run? Why not 2 short passes in a row? I didn't know that you always ran the ball after a short
I'm not sure about that, but we'll have to check into that. I don't know. So
don't be so predictable.
Yeah.
Come on. Drew says, what is the biggest challenge for the season's first road trip, especially when it's as far east as this one is, coming off a game like Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, you can make that a deal if you want. I coached at Maine, and there's a lot of bus rides in Maine. In fact, we bused to Rutgers in 1991, I think it was.
Really?
It doesn't really matter.
How long a bus trip?
It was like, 8, 9, 10 hours. Getting out of Maine took 3 hours because we were in the dead center of the state. That was really not a very smart move on their part. So, it's not like we're taking covered wagons. We fly over there. It's not that big a deal. And, we stay in a nice hotel, and, things are good. And so as long as things go smooth logistically. But I think the biggest thing, I know this is going to be a good environment. They're really promoting. It's a night game. And, so we got to be ready. But I think the biggest thing from my vantage point is just making sure the team understands it's all about the game on the field still. And, in our conference, we play in tough venues. You're going to see a lot of things, hear a lot of things, all that type of thing, and it's going to be a challenge noise-wise, so you really got to be concentrating, but it still gets back to staying focused on the game itself. And again, that's where, having some veterans that have been through it, that's really helpful. And, so I think that's the challenge. And, sometimes it's good to go on the road, too. Sometimes it's kind of a rallying thing for your team and, fortifies everybody's, focus and determination. So, I think it just depends on how you present it and how you approach it.
Well, as you always like to say, you get 12 opportunities every year. That's not a lot in 52 weeks, and the guys that buy into that usually are successful. And you're right.
We play on the road 5 times, so it's not it's not monumental, and And the other thing is if you can't win on the road, then you're not going to be a championship caliber team. That's just impossible. So
road tough.
You got to learn how to do it.
Thanks, Drew, for the question. And you're right, Coach Schiano spent 10 years at Rutgers in the early 2000s. And he came back because Rutgers is now in the Big Ten. That was a major reason he came back. And he and Bob Mulcahy, their athletic director, have really made a commitment, as has the state of New Jersey. I was reading today they've committed $100 million to football and basketball and other facility upgrades, and you have to do that to be competitive in the Big Ten. So they're expecting, they've done some expansion at the stadium, SHI Stadium now. They're expecting 50 to 55,000, which is a complete sellout. Everybody other than the Hawks will be wearing red. It's red out night, so it should be quite an atmosphere.
That's my guess, and I remember they played Louisville. I can't remember. I think it was a Thursday night game, but it was a really big game. Whatever year that would have been, 08, 9, somewhere in there. Two ranked teams, and Louisville had I think they were ranked in the top 5 that night, and it was a really festive, crazy environment. So that's in the back of my mind. That's kind of what we're walking into. But again, I talked to our guys about, it won't be the first time or the only time this year that we walk into tough environments. Just get used to it, and it's going to be a good test for us. Not to mention that they're a team that's 3-0, and Coach Schiano did a great job, not a good job, a great job building their program through the early 2000s here, because they were not much to write home about back in 2000, and that's a reason he got the job, I'm sure. He's from New Jersey, understands, the topography there, just the way to, I think that's a big thing, too, in hiring college coaches or hiring coaches anywhere, but in the college ranks. At one time they hired a guy from the West Coast, and I'm not second-guessing whoever made the hire, but it just seemed peculiar. Anybody that's ever recruited in New Jersey or been in New Jersey, it's a little different place, and it just wasn't a good fit, whereas Greg is just a guy who understands the state, lived in it, and he's done a wonderful job, and now he's going about it again, in a different conference, but you can see the improvement they've made, and they're really doing a good job.
Coach, we'll talk about their personnel in just a minute. We'll take a break here on Hawk Talk with Kirk Ferentz and come back. We're at View Rooftop in downtown Iowa City, the Hilton Garden Inn. Please come down and join us. How about securing your spot at the Hawkeye Block Party Tailgate powered by Kubota? The package includes a ticket to the game as well as a pregame tailgate. That includes live music, an upscale all-you-can-eat buffet, beer, wine, non-alcoholic beverages included. And we still have tickets available for the Michigan and Northwestern games. So get your gang together and get your seats by calling 1-800-IA-HAWKS, 1-800-IA-HAWKS, or visit HawkeyeSports.com/group tickets. The Hawkeye Block Party powered by Kubota. That's the Hawkeye Block Party tailgate, courtesy of Kubota. And I see the Michigan kickoff now has been scheduled for 11 o'clock a week from Saturday. So make note of that if you plan to be coming to the football game, and we hope you are. Hawkeye Football and Hawk Talk with Coach Ferentz is sponsored by Authentic Brand. Designed and crafted with an exceptional attention to detail, Authentic Brand is our choice for Hawkeye Game Day apparel. Shop their exclusive selection at authentic-brand.com, where the service is always great and shipping is free. Make Authentic Brand your gear of choice. Back to View Rooftop in just a minute with Hawk Talk and Kirk Ferentz from Learfield.
We all love a good win. Catching up with friends, saving money at the pump, soaking up the perfect Iowa day, sitting down to a really, really good meal. These are the everyday delights that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the wins that, more often than not, start with Iowa's farm families and the crop they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Learn more about how to share your own wins at iowacorn.org/IowansWin.
How do you become America's best-selling brand? Let's break it down. Innovative tech means smarter and safer driving. Intelligent all-wheel drive will keep you ready for anything. And built Ford tough trucks will always get the job done. Plus, come into your local Ford store today and get super low APR financing, big cash back, and great lease offers on Ford's full line of cars, trucks, and SUVs. That's Ford, and that's how you become America's best-selling brand. Sales claim based on calendar year sales.
Oh, You know that old injury of yours, the one in your knee or maybe back? Instead of going to the doctor and then doing physical therapy, why not start with therapy first? Athletico Physical Therapy is changing the whole healing process around. Their physical therapists will find the source of your pain and help fix it. Start with them and start living pain-free. Just like that.
It all starts with Athletico Physical Therapy. Schedule your free assessment at athletico.com. No prescription needed. Proud partner of the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Knowing that I can make a difference in my patients' lives keeps me motivated every single day. Hi, I'm Dr. Kanya Ferguson at University of Iowa Healthcare. With academic medicine, we see the toughest cases, so we're always innovating. And we bring the best minds together to collaborate, so there's more brain power focused on you. Because that leads to exceptional care for our patients and our community. See how at uihc.org.
You probably know that a natural gas leak smells like rotten eggs, but what does a gas leak look or sound like? If you hear a whooshing or hissing sound, see dirt, dust, or water spraying from an area, or you get dizzy or queasy, leave the area immediately, then call 1-800-595-5325 once you're safely away. See MidAmericanEnergy.com for more safety tips.
Paid for by the customers of MidAmerican Energy.
Hawk fans, do you want stylish Hawkeye gear at an exclusive listener price? Authentic Brand offers the most premium selection of unique Iowa apparel that has me looking my best on game day and every day. Shop their comfortable and versatile styles at authentic-brand.com and save 15% with this radio offer. Use the code Hawkeye Radio when you shop authentic-brand.com. That's all one word, Hawkeye Radio at authentic-brand.com.
Welcome back to Hawk Talk with head football coach Kirk Ferentz. Iowa 2-1 takes on 3-0 Rutgers. We'll get Kirk's keys to the game here shortly. First off, we want to wish our buddy Stu Hansen a happy 93rd birthday. Stu's celebrating a birthday this week. We'll have a chocolate extravaganza delivered to him at the Walnut Ridge Senior Living Center in Clive from Coach Ferentz, Gary Barta, and the Iowa Hawkeyes. Stu Hansen, 93. We lost Lenore about a month ago, maybe a couple months ago, a month and a half ago. Their names adorn the Hansen Performance Center, where the football offices and facilities are located, and they've been such great supporters long before they put their name on a building, but we're forever indebted to the Hansens.
Longtime fans, and it's been one of the great things about, the last 20-some years. I've gotten to meet so many amazing people, and Stu and Lenore are right at the top of the list, and just, great fans, but they're just fantastic people, and married, don't quote me, I think 74 years. Just an amazing couple, and to that point, they were, Stu was in business, they were in it together, and they were a true partnership, and just, it was so good to get to know both of them. We miss Lenore, obviously, and want to wish Stu the best for a happy birthday on Monday.
Happy birthday, Stu. That's right, coming up next Monday, excuse me. I thought it was this past Monday. September 26th, Stu Hansen. For those of you in the Des Moines area that know Stu, pick up the phone, give him a call, wish him happy birthday. We lost a great friend up in the Cedar Rapids area this past week. Pinky Primrose is known as one of the great baseball minds anywhere, nationally, let alone locally. Hall of Fame coach, great player over the years. We lost, Pinky lost his bride, Florence, this past week, so we send our sympathies to the Primrose family. Pinky, a fixture with whether it's the Colonels, the high school programs. He has had an award-winning clinic and camps for many years. Great coach, Pinky Primrose. Our sympathies to Pinky on the loss of his wife, Florence. And I know you're a big baseball fan. I was talking earlier before you got here about Aaron Judge and the Yankees playing your Pittsburgh Pirates this week. But in addition to that, Maury Wills, the great Hall of Fame base stealer, passed away yesterday. The Dodgers, you and I grew up in an era where the Dodgers were, they're very good right now, obviously, but with Sandy Koufax, to think you could have, they have that a little bit now with Kershaw on that staff, but none the equal of Sandy Koufax and then Don Drysdale. So you got a lefty-righty coming at you.
Pretty good 1-2 punch right there, that is for sure. And you mentioned the Pirates and the Yankees. I've watched less baseball this year than any year of my life, I think, for whatever reason. I can't tell you why. But somebody put a quote on my desk today from Aaron Judge, which was really good. And just looking at two things that haven't changed. The Pirates are still in last place compared to last year when I looked at it, and the Yankees are still in first. It hasn't changed, but it was just Aaron Judge talking about that 60th home run, and apparently he was interviewed, and he mentioned 60 once and talked about the team 10 times. So it gives you a little insight into the kind of competitor he is, and just the other part of this quote was just how good he's got it to play in Yankee Stadium on a first-place team and, competing for a lot of meaningful things. So I'm an Aaron Judge fan, and I don't even know the guy, but I'm a fan.
A lot of people are Aaron Judge fans. If he beat Roger Maris's record, good for him. I was fortunate enough to see Roger Maris play maybe a half dozen times in Chicago. Back in the day, Yankees would come to town, play the White Sox. And what a great player, and smooth left-handed swing. He was like a 4 or 5-time Gold Glove outfielder, a complete player, as many of the Pirates were back in the day. Roberto Clemente, Major League Baseball celebrated Clemente's Day this past week. So it is almost October, Coach. I was mentioning it's fall today, or fall tomorrow, first day of fall. Big Ten football. Podolak's all lathered up and ready to go. So let's get to our Club Car Wash keys to the game. Presented by the Iowa Hawkeyes official car wash, Club Car Wash, with unlimited memberships starting at just $20 a month. No better time to join the club. Visit clubcarwash.com and find a location nearest you. Got two good defenses on the field Saturday night. The Hawks we know about. Tell us about Rutgers.
Yeah, they're a very impressive group. They're big, they're athletic, they've recruited well. And then, as I mentioned, I'm not saying they're the same as us, but they're similar. People talk about our defense and say, you look at them and you can count on what they're going to do. They definitely have an identity. When they talk about us, I'm talking about opposing coaches. You hear that a lot. And I would say the same thing about Rutgers. And, Coach Young is a defensive guy by trade. So his signature's all over it. And he's got a family tree. A lot of guys that have coached with him, under him, quote unquote, have gone on and done well in other places. And, so again, you throw the film on. There's not a lot of surprises in terms of the way they play. They're very, very sound. Their guys are where they should be. They know how to adjust to different things, and they don't give up easy plays. And that's one of the reasons they're doing well defensively. They make you work.
They run a lot of five defensive back sets too. That 4-2-5. Iowa's grown accustomed to that with the cash back. Are they stronger up front, stronger in the back, or pretty even?
Yeah, I think they're more veteran in the back, but they're good both ways. And number 0 is the guy that is kind of their equivalent of what we would call a cash. They're Dane Belton. He's really a very talented player, and 25 is a good player too. So they're both. They interchange, but 0 is probably the pass cover guy, and 25 is the bigger guy.
Christian Isian is the first young man you mentioned. We were talking about him earlier. He's got tackles for loss, sacks. They'll send him, and Shaquan Loyal would be the cash back too. Up front, they're very athletic. Aaron Lewis had 11 tackles last week against Temple. Deion Jennings, the linebacker, has been around for a few years. Now, offensively, Kirk. Quarterbacks, they've got some issues there. Vedral, we're familiar with him from his days at Nebraska, and Wimsett, the backup, both a game day decision, I guess. And if neither can go, they'll run with this sophomore Evan Simon.
Yeah, he's played well. He's done a good job, and so it's tough to read the whole thing. I guess Vedral 0, got hurt apparently during camp, but we saw him a lot on film last year. Crossover film. So saw him play a lot. He's a very elusive, talented guy. And then the young guy, number 2, is a true freshman. Or I guess he went to school. He left high school early, I believe.
Wimsett, yeah.
And somehow played there last fall. But he's a really impressive young guy. Can run, throw, and 3's done a good job as well. So we're not sure who's going to be in there. And I don't know how much it matters. Like I said, we haven't seen 0 at all this year, so that part's a little bit of a wild card. seen 2 and 3, and they don't change dramatically maybe when they're in there, but lean a little bit this way with one and the other way the other. But the running backs are both good, and I know this. If we don't cover number one, make sure somebody's accounting for him. Every player, a couple somebody's, that's going to be a problem because he's a real big play threat. And
you speak of wide receiver Aaron Cruikshank.
Yep.
And if that name sounds familiar, he was at Wisconsin to start his career and then transferred, not back home. He's from Brooklyn, but transferred back out east.
Closer to home, and I guess that was the reason he wanted to get back there. But he made big plays at Wisconsin. I remember him as a young player there. And then, is doing the same thing for these guys right now. He's got elite speed. He can really fly. So he's a big play threat. So he's somebody we really got to be accounted for. 21's a big play threat as well at the receiver position. And then number 12 is a very interesting guy. Does a lot of things, He just he's a really interesting guy. So you can see him back in the Wildcat. You can see him at receiver. Plays a little tight end, that type of thing. So very versatile guy, very, very talented. And both their backs were impressive, I thought. And then last week their younger guy played, I believe 27. So it's an interesting group of guys.
They play a lot of guys, and that's part of the offensive growth. Not unlike Iowa's, in that Shiano. He's got a new offensive coordinator, and he trusts him. He trusts his offensive coaches. They've struggled. They've been inconsistent in terms of scoring points and putting up big yardage. But they're gifted. They're talented. Both teams with solid special teams. Both teams with great punters. Of course, we're partial to Torrey Taylor. Those are Coach Ferentz Club Car Wash keys to the game. We'll come back with more Hawk Talk with the head coach. We'll go back to Twitter and Facebook when we return here on the Hawkeye Radio Network. Hawk Talk with Coach Ferentz at View Rooftop returns after this.
When you open a crisp, cold Bud Light, you know game day is here.
You owe me $5.
You mean every sound. Enjoy responsibly. 2022 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Introducing new Bud Light Seltzer Hard Soda Variety Pack. You hear that? It's seltzer with the pop of soda, all with zero sugar. Bud Light Seltzer Hard Soda, the loudest flavors ever. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Seltzer Hard Soda, IRC Beers, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hi, this is Hawkeye coach Kirk Ferentz. My players know that determination and strong will can lead to endless possibilities. For years, Iowa farmers have believed in that too. Farmers are the backbone of this country, and their dedication to bringing us food and energy has never been more important. That's why we're proud to wear the America Needs Farmers logo on our helmet. Join the Hawkeyes and the Iowa Farm Bureau as we celebrate farmers during ANF Game Day on October 1st. For more information and to win game day tickets, visit americaneedsfarmers.org.
Hi, welcome to US Cellular, where new and current customers choose any phone they want for free.
Free? Even the one with 5G and lots of storage?
Free.
What about the one that takes incredible pictures?
Free.
And the one with the latest everything?
Free.
How about this giant cardboard phone?
Oh, that stays.
At US Cellular, new and current customers choose any phone they want for free. That's any brand, model, or size. Free for everyone. US Cellular, America's locally grown wireless. Terms apply. See uscellular.com for details.
You probably know that a natural gas leak smells like rotten eggs. But what does a gas leak look or sound like? If you hear a whooshing or hissing sound, see dirt, dust, or water spraying from an area, or you get dizzy or queasy, leave the area immediately, then call 1-800-595-5325 once you're safely away. See MidAmericanEnergy.com for more safety tips.
Paid for by the customers of Mid-American Energy.
Running a business is a lot of work. Luckily, I've got a great partner.
Oh, I thank you.
I meant U.S. Bank.
I knew that.
U.S. Bank Business Essentials is a huge help to us.
Totally. Their comprehensive point-of-sale system does it all. Tracks inventory, manages schedules, customizes orders.
Plus all the regular banking stuff.
If only it could make coffee.
Nah, that's your job.
From point of sale to quick loans, we have many ways to make your business boom. That's what U.S. Bank is for. U.S. Bank. We'll get there together. Equal housing lender member FDIC.
Backed by popular demand, Hy-Vee drive-through flu shot clinics. Just follow the signs in your Hy-Vee parking lot to get your flu shot right from your car. It's easy, convenient, and no appointment or prescription is necessary. Drive-through flu shots are offered on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 3 to 7 p.m. Or get your flu shot inside your Hy-Vee pharmacy at any time with no appointment necessary. Plus, when you get your flu shot at Hy-Vee, you get a 20-cent Hy-Vee fuel saver. Some restrictions apply.
Hawk Talk with Iowa football coach Kirk Ferentz. Welcome back to View Rooftop. Experience a high-energy rooftop bar with spectacular views of downtown Iowa City like tonight. View Rooftop, located on the 12th floor of the Hilton Garden Inn, where we're at right now, featuring a distinctly modern escape filled with a unique outdoor design. Open all day on Hawkeye football game days with tailgate specials. View Rooftop, providing a memorable experience with food, music, and fantastic views of the Iowa City skyline. Call 319-519-4650, 319-519-4650, and set up your View Rooftop reservation today. Coach Rubin checks in. Are you pretty much set with the starting offensive line, or are you looking at every practice for the best combination to put out there every week?
No, I think we're still, kind of working through that. The three tackles, I think we're we got Mason on the left side there, and I think Connor's getting more comfortable with each week at the right tackle position. Then Jack Plum's done a good job swinging both ways. We've been working Nick DeYoung, who can also play tackle more exclusively inside. And then, you still got, Bo Stevens, Jennings Dunker, and Tyler Ellsbury are all in the mix, I think, for that. Some playing time interior and interior-wise. And then Tyler's also backing up Logan Jones at center. So, we're working through some things. Mike Muslinski's in that equation a little bit as well.
You've got a good depth.
Yeah, I think, the problem's been keeping guys on the field and then getting them to catch up to their potential, and that's, I think with each week we're gaining ground. I thought we saw improvement last week, and I don't think we're ready just to say 5 guys are going to play the entire game. We'll just keep pushing through here and see what it looks like, and it'll sort itself out.
Nick says, Coach, hear me out. I think Terry Roberts wants a touchdown this year, and I had a vision of him returning that pick last Saturday for 6. What about putting him in as a returner?
Well, yeah, I don't know about that. That would be one way to do it, increase his chances. But, it's funny. 2 weeks ago, he had one right in front of him, and just, he was very frustrated when he went down because he knew it was a lot of green in front of him, an opportunity to score, which, in retrospect, would have made a big difference, obviously. But he's done a really nice job, and not only as a corner, but also as a return or a cover guy on the punt team. He's just done a wonderful job there, and that's really where he I think made big inroads was on special teams, and we haven't lost that with him. But now he's playing a lot of corner on top of it and doing a really nice job. So it's great to have him out there.
Well, Nick, we heard you out, and Coach agrees with you. He's going to get his first touchdown, maybe 1 or 2 on Saturday night. Nick is our
sooner than later would be great.
That would be really good. That would spark. It's a 3-phase game, as we like to say. But Nick, you're our winner of the Authentic Brand $100 gift certificate tonight, which goes for asking a unique or interesting or probing question. You can ask a question for, if you can please post your question each week for Coach. Just visit Twitter @GaryDolphin or on Facebook.com/Voice of the Hawks. Authentic Brand is a proud partner, not only outfitting our broadcast crew, but outfitting thousands of fans on game day. Gear up for game day and every day in officially licensed Hawkeye apparel and accessories from Authentic Brand. Back with more tweets and Facebook posts for Coach in just a minute from View Rooftop. Hawk Talk from Learfield continues in a minute.
Contractors, you're busier than ever this fall, but you've got this with high-quality building materials from Spahn & Rose, like GAF. Use the Spahn & Rose visualizer to plan the perfect roof and blend an elegant architectural look with exceptional performance. GAF, we protect what matters the most. With several Spahn & Rose locations nearby, you can focus on life's other important things this fall. Spahn & Rose, buy easier, build better.
Golden Harvest Gold Series soybeans are bred to win. These 19 varieties have strong agronomics within high-demand trait platforms like Enlist E3 soybeans for superior performance all season long. Gold Series soybeans also out-yielded Astro brand soybeans by an average of 1 bushel per acre in 5,542 comparisons. Grow gold at goldenharvestseeds.com/gold-series.
You did it, Iowa! You've won more than $20 million in jackpots this year from Wild Rose Casino and Hotel. And we're not stopping anytime soon. Winning is more fun at Wild Rose. From jackpots to cars to cash and more. We've got 20 million reasons and more why you'd rather be here. Wild Rose Casino and Hotel.
Must be 21 or older. If you or someone you know needs gambling treatment, call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Hey Hawkeyes, this is Kirk Ferentz. We've been working hard all year long, just like Iowa's corn farmers do. Because when the Hawkeyes take to the field and Iowa corn farmers take to theirs, Iowans win. You want to support Iowa's corn farmers? It's easy. Buy corn-fed meat, dairy, and eggs. Fill your cup with safe drinking water right from the tap, and fuel your vehicle with clean, renewable, homegrown E15 and unleaded 88. Now who's ready for some Hawkeye football?
Hi, welcome to US Cellular, where new and current customers choose any phone they want for free.
Free? Even the one with 5G and lots of storage?
Free.
What about the one that takes incredible pictures?
Free.
And the one with the latest everything?
Free.
How about this giant cardboard phone?
Oh, that stays.
At US Cellular, new and current customers choose any phone they want for free. That's any brand, model, or size. Free for everyone. US Cellular, America's locally grown wireless. Terms apply. See uscellular.com for details.
When our team takes the field, it's important to have a good game plan. The Iowa Secretary of State and I want you to have a good game plan for the November 8th election, too. It's important to have your voice heard by voting. You have options when it comes to casting your ballot, whether it's at the polls, your local election office, or from the comfort of your couch. Pick the play that works best for you. Remember these 3 important keys for the upcoming election. Visit voterready.iowa.gov, get in the game, and be a voter. Go Hawks.
Time flying, it always does when the Big Ten season rolls around. On Hawk Talk with Coach Ferentz, welcome back to View Rooftop, the Hilton Garden Inn in Iowa City. Coach, Matt wants to know what you see as the biggest area of improvement from week 1 to week 3. Matt checking in on Twitter.
Yeah, 2 things kind of go hand in hand. I think, I thought offensively, especially in the first half, it was a little disjointed there after that, but we had some rhythm offensively first half the other night, which was really encouraging. Yeah, it was good team football, too. The kicking game and defensive stops were a pick from Cooper. Helped give us some really good field position, but the offense also flipped field position. They had the ball in the, back inside our 10 and moved it out and ended up with a field goal, I think, off that possession. So that was really good to see. And then probably as big as anything is we didn't turn the ball over, and that was an issue the first 2 games, not unlike 2020, the first 2 games. And it's hard to win football games when you're behind in the turnover takeaway count. So that's kind of historically been really important for us, and hopefully moving forward we'll do a good job protecting the football.
Appreciate the insight or the question there, Matt. Hawk Talk tonight with Coach Ferentz is brought to you by Iowa Corn. The Iowa Corn Cy-Hawk Series, all about celebrating our student athletes as well as our state's corn farmers. Just like the Hawks and Cyclones work hard all year to get ready for the season ahead, so do Iowa's corn farmers, growing a crop used in over 4,000 products. That's a win for all Iowans. Okay, let's see here, Coach. Let's go to Facebook, see if we can find... Dave, are the coaches looking at splitting time at quarterback so the backups can get some game time experience with the Hawkeye offense and go against the first-string opponent defenses? Well, that's from Dave on Facebook. We had one earlier also where you played a lot of second and third stringers, or at least backups the other night after about the second or third delay, but you didn't go to a backup quarterback. Any particular reason there? No, nothing, man. I mean, we're just going to try to run the clock and get it out of there. So we wanted the operation to be smooth and a few less moving parts that way. But no, there's no message in there at all. Spencer had a good game.
I thought so. Just thought he made some beautiful throws. Hopefully that at some point are going to be completions. And, we had some real near misses. But he looked like he had confidence. Thought he got into a rhythm. And it helps when you have everything kind of working a little bit with each other.
Mike Meyer, your former field goal kicker, Drew Stevens is doing a super job with the role he's in right now. But Mike Meyer, not too terribly long ago, was kicking him from 50-plus. Mike got married over the weekend. Congratulations to he and Tessa, Mike Meyer.
Well, I hope they're the wedding went a little smoother than our game. Hope it didn't take them 7 hours to, get the marriage finished. But no, great for Mike. What a tremendous young guy, and just really happy for him. And there's been a lot of weddings these past ever since the pandemic. I guess they all got backed up and stacked up.
Yeah. Well, the Meyer family, one of my favorites. Mike, of course, a great player, great athlete at Wahlert High School. So, Mike, congratulations. Touchdown, Iowa. Go kick a field goal.
There you go.
Hawkeye football is brought to you each and every week, as well as Hawk Talk with Coach Ferentz by Wellmark. Blue is caring, blue is convenient, and now blue is Medicare Advantage from Wellmark Advantage Health Plans, offering all-in-one Medicare coverage, our extensive network, and the confidence of being covered by Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield. Learn more at wellmarkadvantage.com. Back to wrap up Hawk Talk with Coach Ferentz from Learfield in just a minute.
If you thought starting a business took courage, imagine starting over after a fire, damaging storms, or a cyber attack. When disaster strikes, business owners count on EMC for fast, experienced claim service. Our countrywide network of local offices ensures we're always ready to answer the call, investigate every claim, explain what's covered, and process payments as quickly as possible. Count on getting back to business when you count on EMC.
When you open a crisp, cold Bud Light, you know game day is here.
You owe me $5.
We mean every sound. Enjoy responsibly. 2022 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Introducing new Bud Light Seltzer Hard Soda Variety Pack. You hear that? It's seltzer with the pop of soda, all with zero sugar. Bud Light Seltzer Hard Soda, the loudest flavors ever. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Seltzer Hard Soda, IRC Beers, St. Louis, Missouri.
Time to redo this basement?
Yeah. A home gym, movie theater, model train utopia.
Or yoga studio?
I'm flexible-ish.
Great. I'll just use the U.S. Bank mobile app so we can plan it out.
Which way are you leaning? Setting a savings goal or applying for a home improvement loan?
I say we look at both options, right here in the app.
Budget for a really good home gym. We deserve it.
Noted.
Help for today, planning for tomorrow. That's what U.S. Bank is for. U.S. Bank. We'll get there together. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Hi, welcome to US Cellular, where new and current customers choose any phone they want for free.
Free? Even the one with 5G and lots of storage?
Free.
What about the one that takes incredible pictures?
Free.
And the one with the latest everything?
Free.
How about this giant cardboard phone?
Oh, that stays.
At U.S. Cellular, new and current customers choose any phone they want for free. That's any brand, model, or size. Free for everyone. U.S. Cellular, America's locally grown wireless. Terms apply. See uscellular.com for details.
People say you should see the ball drop at Times Square at least one time, but being there for New Year's Eve and winning $1 million live on national television? How's that for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity? With the Iowa Lottery's Powerball First Millionaire of the Year, you and a guest could appear on Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve. One lucky winner will win $1 million just after midnight. Enter your Powerball tickets and see rules and complete details at ialottery.com/VIP.
Hawkeye football Saturday from Rutgers, 4 o'clock for the pregame coverage here on the Hawkeye Radio Network with yours truly and Ed Podolak, Rob Brooks, and the gang. And then the kickoff shortly after 6 as the Hawks try to get to 3-1 on the season, and more importantly, or equally important, get their Big Ten opening win. Iowa's won 7 of its last 10 Big Ten openers, and on the road it's never easy, but the Hawks and the Scarlet Knights of Rutgers put their hand in the dirt at 6 o'clock on Saturday night out in close to the Big Apple across the Hudson from New York City. Coach Chad on Twitter checks in. Does Caleb Johnson see more touches this week? You've got a wealth of good running backs.
I mean, yeah, needless to say, we're really pleased with what he did the other night. And, It's just been a process. He came in. We thought he was a really good prospect. He's, first and foremost, just a tremendous young guy. I mean, everybody he interfaces with has been very complimentary about him, the academic folks, the training staff, etc. So, it's a good start. And then he's been learning daily on the practice field. And, played a little bit in those first couple games, but that was his most extensive action. And, I think we all kind of saw a glimpse of maybe what we're hoping he can become. So, yeah, he's been a really delightful addition. And, we'll try to keep bringing him along.
We're all sad to hear about LaShawn Williams' father's passing. He was not with the team last week. I'm sure you expect him back this week?
He's back, yeah. He was back Monday on the field. And, it's a really obviously sad thing for the entire family. And our thoughts have been with the entire family. But, it's especially hard at that age, to go through something like that. So, a tremendous young person, and it's been a tough, challenging 10 days for him, I'm sure, and I think he's just glad to be back in a normal routine again, and obviously we're thrilled to have all the guys back on the team and working together.
Indeed, we'll look for the Hawks to get that running game going early on Saturday night against Rutgers. Before we run out of time, Coach, I wanted to mention this young man. I heard you talking about this week's kid captain last week in your weekly press conference, and we love all of our kid captains. I got a text message or a social media message from a young man named Ben, his dad Terry. They were checking in. They listened to all the games. They listened to every Hawk Talk, and Ben has been blind since birth. He's a rabid Iowa Hawkeye fan, and He allows Pody and I to be his eyes that helps create a vision, a picture of his Hawkeye thrills each and every week on game day and Hawk Talk. So, Ben, I know you're listening, buddy. It's also great that Ben is involved every day with athletics. Most notably, he's a Special Olympics wheelchair racer and very accomplished from what his dad tells me. So, Coach wants to say hi to you, Ben, and wish you all the best.
Well, Ben, yeah, good luck with the wheelchair racing, and keep that going. And most importantly, just thanks for being such a great Hawk fan. Appreciate you following the team, and really appreciate your support. Hope everything's well with you.
Thanks, Ben, for listening in. Okay, and thanks to Ben's family for the support they give him. Coach, good luck on Saturday. We'll look forward to seeing you out in Piscataway, and go Hawks. Let's get that first Big Ten win and number 3 on the young season.
It'll be a good challenge, a big challenge, and we're looking forward to it.
Thanks,
Gary.
Appreciate it. Hawkeye at Rutgers, 6 o'clock on Saturday night. Hawk Talk tonight from View Rooftop here in downtown Iowa City has been brought to you by Hawkeye Village and Kubota. Entertain your clients, employees, or friends at each home game in Hawkeye Village, powered by Kubota. Hawkeye Village, located inside Dwayne Banks Field. Tailgate packages include game tickets along with catered food and beverages prior to kickoff. And there is availability for the Michigan game coming up a week from Saturday. By the way, that's an 11 o'clock kick. Visit HawkeyeSports.com for more information. Appreciate all of our sponsors here tonight on Hawk Talk. And we'll be right back here next Wednesday. Come on out and join us next Wednesday at 6:30 for another 90-minute edition of Hawk Talk with Kirk Ferentz. Until then, have a great week. The rest of your week, join us on Saturday night for Iowa at Rutgers. Good night, everybody.
On the Hawkeye Sports Network. From Learfield, you've been listening to Hawk Talk, presented by View Rooftop, downtown Iowa City. Also brought to you by Bud Light, it's for the fans. Ford, inviting you to visit your local Ford store or buyfordnow.com. U.S. Bank, proud to support Iowa football. U.S. Bank, Equal housing lender, member FDIC. U.S. Cellular, the official wireless partner of the Iowa Hawkeyes. And by Iowa Office of Secretary of State. Visit voterready.iowa.gov. Get in the game. Be a voter. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Hawkeye Sports Network.